What's up YouTube, Dale here from Zephyr Wargames, joined by Sean and Donald. If you haven't checked out our previous videos in this series of Yu-Gi-Oh for beginners, please do in the link in the description below. Donald has just done spells, so now we're moving on to Sean to do different types of traps and when you cannot play them. So, Sean, over to you.
Okay, so first of all, trap cards. You will see that like other cards, like your monsters and your spell cards and your ritual monsters, they are all distinguished by a different colour. In the instance of trap cards, they are distinguished by a more pinky purple colour, as you can see here. Similar to spell cards, there are four different. In this sense, for traps, there are four different types. We have the normal trap cards, which, like spells, have no icons, as you can see here. Like spell cards, they also have continuous trap cards, as shown by these two here. And lastly, we have counter traps, such as those. Okay, like a spell, you can set these on your turn. However, like quick play spell cards, you can't activate trap cards the turn you set them. So to activate a trap card, you would have to set it and then wait for your opponent's turn.
They can't be activated from the hand either, but trap cards specifically have to be set for at least a turn, for your turn, before they can be activated.
Unless certain cards say you can use cards a turn.
Unless specifically stated by another card effect.
Okay, next we have counter trap cards. These cards are usually done in response to a card effect, and the only card that can respond to a counter trap card is another counter trap card. Because this is more of a game mechanics kind of thing, but they're not what's known as a spell speed 3. Only cards that are spell speed 3 can react to spell speed 3 cards.
Don't worry so much about the spells. That's something a bit more technical that you'll pick up as you play the game. So basically, counter traps, like Sean has said, are in reaction to something your opponent has done. So whether your opponent has activated a spell card, a trap card, or even special summon a monster or use their effects, that is what counter trap cards are there for.
Okay, and lastly we have continuous trap cards. Now, the reason why I have two on the field is thusly. Some counter trap cards can be used in the way of a monster. Like, for example, here we have Abyss Stingray, where it says in the card text, when this card is activated, you can move it to the monster zone, and it is a monster with the statistics listed. For example, it is. Could you, Dale?
Yep. Okay, so Abyss Stingray. Special summon this card as an effect monster. Thunder type, light, level 5, attack 1900, defense 0. This card is also still a trap card. If summoned this way, this card cannot be destroyed by battle. So, like Sean was saying, you would have this card set. Say you have no monsters active, your opponent attacks you. You can activate this card. This card is then pushed up and considered a monster. But this space is still occupied as its trap effect as well. So, if your opponent destroyed this trap, it would destroy the monster as well. But like Sean said, because it's continuous, it's always up on the field until it is destroyed.
And then lastly, we have the standard continuous trap cards. These cards, like I've already said, are similar in the vein to continuous spells. You will activate these, being that they are trap cards, in your opponent's turn. What will then happen is the effect that is within the card text will be applied. In this instance, when the monster effect is activated, that activates when a monster is normal summoned. You can negate the activation, then the player whose effect activation is negated draws one card. So this is every time that the condition within the text is met, then the condition will activate, so to speak.
So, traps can be activated during your opponent's turn. They're ideally there because you want to activate them during your opponent's turn. However, they can be activated during the next turn after you have set them. So just quickly as an example, we set all 4 of these cards face down in the spell and trap zone. Right. We can choose to activate it during our opponent's turn if, like Sean said, the conditions on the cards are met. However, we can also activate it during our next turn. So, my turn, set, pass to my opponent. Opponent activates something that one of my cards can react to. So, I activate it to react to what he's done. That then goes to the graveyard. During my next turn, if I was to activate something that met these specific effects, or if my opponent was to do the same, again I could activate it as long as it has been set for that one turn, for my first turn. So, that was the different types of traps. Again, if you have any other questions or queries, let us know in the comments below and we'll get to them and answer them as best we can. If you haven't seen the rest of our episodes or videos, spells, monsters, please go back and check those out in the link in the description below. Our next video we will be looking at extra deck monsters. So obviously the different type of extra deck monsters you have are quite vast. You have XZ summoning, you have synchro summoning, and you have fusion monsters. So we'll get to those very shortly in the next video. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We hope we're helping out. We just want to get as many people as we can playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it is an incredibly fun game to play. The artwork is exquisite on some of these cards. And anything we can do to expand the Yu-Gi-Oh! World, we are more than happy to do. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and
Happy dueling!